All right, what is good, everyone? Welcome to the fifth official episode of Masti with Satvik Saini. And today, I have a very old friend as a special guest of mine, Drew Pasma. Drew and I go way back. We were high school buddies. We played tennis together. We competed in the high school Mr. Cougar male pageant show together. And we played chess together recently. Today, he'll be joining me. We'll be hashing out social media, one of his businesses, and what he does currently in the social media realm as a professional. So Drew, let's have him join. Drew sent me the request. We're waiting for Drew. Austin Grant, Weirdo, what's up?
Yo, what's up?
Drew,
How we doing?
welcome to the show, my man.
Oh, thank you. I'm excited.
What'd you think of the intro?
Yeah.
Did I do
I
you
did. I heard
justice
it.
or
It was
no?
good.
Hey, what's that behind you?
It's my selfie stick. You want to see it? This thing's a beast.
Ooh, love
Oh,
it.
you mean
Good
behind
stuff.
me?
Yeah, behind, not in front of you.
That's my boy Magnus.
Who is that? Give us a little intro.
He's the GOAT chess player in the world. And I also have a show where I play chess. And I lost today, so I'm a little hurt.
Yeah, you started, what is it? Sports Take Chess with Drew Pismo. So why chess? Why chess instead of like checkers or something?
Oh, great question, topic. Because, well, there's this quote in this world that goes, everyone's out here playing checkers while I was playing chess. It's basically a big flex on everyone that you're just a smarter human being. And, yeah, so I couldn't be caught dead playing checkers live on national television. So had to go with chess. And it is a tough sport.
It is very tough. I'll be honest,
And
you got
you're
me
the
back
winner.
into it.
Sports Take champion.
Yes.
I
Let's go.
respect it.
But you definitely
I'll beat
improved
you
over the
next.
time. Because did you
What's
play
up?
chess before or no?
No, I literally learned a month ago.
That's fair.
Yeah.
I expect it. I'll give you credit. You did try to make it exciting. Chess is not, not a lot of people would watch chess live, if they had to say.
I appreciate it. We had some good bets going around. People were showing up on time to their games. Can't complain.
Definitely a lot of money being thrown around. But anyways, Drew, for today, we're talking about like social media, pros and cons of it. What do you think about some of the narratives floating around in society today? And then we'll dive a little bit into your business because you run Sports Take, and then what you do professionally. So before we get going, tell us a little bit, like, give me your intro, what you want people to know.
Ooh, good question. My name's Drew Pasma. I grew up in Colorado, and I had just your classic white male childhood. Played a lot of sports. Did all the trends, classic things. No, not many hardships. Then I went to Niwot High School with Satvik. We played on tennis together. I choked at state my senior year. What else? Then I went to University of Arizona for college. That was sweet. Then I didn't know what to. Oh, here's a tip. I thought so. When I went to University of Arizona, I just told myself I was going to be an entrepreneur, and so I started this sports app that we may talk about called Sports Take. And so my plan was just like, graduate college and then just have a business and I'm good to go. But yeah, basically I figured out real quick that entrepreneurship just meant unemployment. So moved back home and had to figure that one out. Figured out I was also in a lot of college debt, so figured that one out. And then moved to Austin, Texas on a whim because I can't stand the snow. And now I'm here doing the real world.
Good stuff. So are you one of the type of guys who would write entrepreneur on his Instagram bio or no?
No. Unless I hate that.
So Drew, I know you're one of the guys who's pretty active on all social media platforms. So this is why I wanted to have this conversation with you. So what is your favorite social media app and why?
It's a good question. So, favorite app that I didn't make would be Twitter, just because like I get my most entertainment there, and I love reading opinions. Like I don't really care about what people are doing day to day, but like I love seeing people's like opinions on stuff, even though I may disagree with them and get really mad. Like that's fun to me. So then Twitter, and then dude, TikTok second for sure. Like Instagram
Really?
bores me, but TikTok is, well, I work there, and basically the mission is to bring joy and creativity, and that is what you see in there. Like there is some classic stuff.
Dude, it's addicting. I checked it out the other day.
Yeah, did you just get on?
Well, I got on, I made an account, but I don't know what it is. Something about it, just like the ease, how easily you can just scroll through stuff. You just lose track of time, like more than the other apps, I think.
Dude, it's a beast. I call it the casino of social medias. It's an absolute beast.
That's
It's the
interesting.
only app. It's the only app I have a time limit on.
Oh wow, what's
like,
your time limit?
It'll like tell me like you've been on. So that's a compliment.
What's your time limit?
I have it at 55 minutes, which is a long time per day.
Why 55? Why not an hour?
You know, it just makes me feel better about myself if I only spend 55 minutes on there.
But as far as like you mentioning Twitter, I feel like it's harder to be good at Twitter than this at Instagram because it's
100%.
more.
Twitter is the hardest social media to be good at, I believe.
And what constitutes being good at Twitter?
Because Twitter, you have to, I don't know. It's hard to be good at Twitter if you're posting like opinions, because when people disagree with your opinions, they just unfollow you. So it's super hard to like grow a following when you're like consistently posting like things people disagree with. And so they just unfollow you and you're like, well, it's back to square one. But that's the fun.
And I know you've mentioned this couple. Yeah, you go on Twitter rants all the time, which are entertaining. But as far as like your following goes, you want to have a lot of followers on Twitter.
Dude, I would love it. Like, if I could have like one wish, like top 3 would easily just be like a ton of Twitter followers. But like, I don't have to like work for that. Like, I wish just like as I go about the day, like I could just like post an opinion and just like everyone sees it. Like that would be so fun. But it's also super hard to like get that, so I don't like want to put in that much work, or I do, but like not really. And so, but yeah, that would definitely be a wish, to just have a ton of Twitter followers.
Because you can just engage with people like disagreeing, agreeing with your takes more than like a picture on Instagram type of deal.
Yeah, exactly. Like you see like the big sports personalities like Portnoy and Skip and all them, like, dude, their mentions are like the funniest thing you will ever read. And so like I just had my mentions as like free entertainment, like I would be set for happiness. Not happiness, just like free entertainment.
So in terms of entertainment purposes, you just want a lot of followers. Like what goal does that solve though? Just you wanting a lot of
just entertainment. Yeah, like I hate when I'm like live tweeting something and I'm like out of mentions or content. Does that make sense? So like when I refresh Twitter or Sports Take, like I want to see new stuff. Like everyone does. That's why they go to social medias. Mm-hmm. And so when I like am tweeting, like, and nobody's engaging, it's just like, all right, I'll just tweet again. But if I like had constant engagement, it'd be so fun. Which I've had.
Oh, I see. Would you be on Twitter 24/7 if you did?
No, but you know, I've had some rough times earlier this year where I've had those thoughts.
No, for sure. So as far as in media society today, there's this narrative that social media is ruining us, and I want to get your take on that.
Dude, I think social media it's the classic like solves a problem, but for how big of a problem do you want it to solve? So the way I think about it is like people hate on Facebook, but the problem that Facebook solves is like before Facebook, people like emailed their family photos to a bunch of people. Like that's a lot of work. So now people can just post all their family photos on Facebook and all that's there. But then which is cool. But then the flip side of that is like, well, now you have to see everyone's family that like maybe you don't want. So it's that it's that pro of like, I think we're all more connected, but then like we're maybe too connected. So I think that's the flaw and the pro and con with social media.
I think that's a good way to put it. It's just a medium. I think I know it is addicting. It can be addicting, but I think people lose a lot of like their feeling of control with their social media. Do you know what I mean? Like
No,
if
I don't.
like let's say I control my feed, I see what I want to see, kind of deal. So if you like on Instagram, if I'm scrolling through and I like a lot of people feel like shit because of seeing a lot of people's highlights, right? Like you can unfollow that person or follow an influencer and control it. Like you're in control.
I agree.
But no, but I think a lot of people don't realize that though. A lot of conversations that I have with a lot of people is, dude, my feed sucks, my Twitter experience sucks. I was like, you can change that.
Yeah.
Like,
dude, yeah, it's true. Like, I don't know. I mean, I think our grade is like the perfect social media era because we've seen them all come about. You know?
Why?
Like, remember in middle school, like we would like Gmail chat each other,
Oh,
and then
no.
like, you know, and then like Facebook came, and then Twitter came, and then Snapchat came. That loser. And then,
oh, I dislike Snapchat too.
there we go. Then Snapchat came, and then they all came, and then friggin' TikTok's here now.
Well, I think Snapchat was a middle ground where I think where Instagram started putting stories on, I was like, I have no use for Snapchat anymore, so I wiped it. Seriously.
I'm right there with you. That being said, I do love just like when people send me like a random snap. Like that's a good feeling.
Oh, like just thinking about you kind of deal?
Yeah, like if it's like an inside joke, like that's like some good entertainment for sure. But I don't see anyone, so I can't really expect.
Let's just say if you're above like if you're older than 23 and still doing streaks, like please reevaluate your life. Do not.
I disagree.
Yeah,
I
never understood that.
I've also, it's probably big for like the boyfriend girlfriend game, but yeah, I feel you there.
It is not. I'm in a relationship and it does not matter one bit.
You're just like, no, we're not doing this.
If you're in a relationship and your significant other tells you you need to have a streak, get out ASAP.
I'm about these opinions. Hi, Zach Kinnison.
So then, what do you say?
No, it's he was just being the clown he is.
So then, why do you think like us being part of the social media generation? Why do you think TikTok came? Do you think TikTok came at a good time, and why?
I think TikTok came at a great time because TikTok, you're not comparing yourself to other people. You're just like watching dancing and music videos, and it's like good escapism. And it makes you want to just like get up there and like kind of make a fool of yourself. That's not every other. And this is, so I do sales pitches for people watching, like I work at TikTok and I do sales there. So I talk to advertisers. My goal is to get advertisers on TikTok. And so I'll run them through a pitch. In my pitch, I start with our mission, which is like inspire creativity and bring joy. And then I go into kind of like digging at the other social medias, which is, yeah, like on other platforms, you're getting in heated political arguments that, you know, you don't really want to do. And then on other social media platforms, you're like watching an entire concert of Travis Scott, which is like me digging at Twitter and Instagram. And that's like, yeah. And so I think that's why I do believe TikTok came at a great time.
But how are people not comparing with each other on TikTok? It's very visual as well, right? How is it less visual than Instagram per se?
Because the average Joe just like isn't going to get up there and do like a renegade dance or like shoot 700 times to try to get like a ping pong ball in a cup. You're just kind of like, oh, that's like impressive. Like, you know, I could like maybe do that if I wanted to, but it's not something of like, oh no, this person's hanging out with this person. Like, I'm jealous.
Oh, interesting. Also, yeah. I think is there a length on TikTok videos? Isn't it 15 seconds?
It's 60 seconds, 15 or 60 seconds.
I think. Do you think shorter video has anything to do with it? Because it almost reverted back to like kind of Vine era.
No, dude. What has to do with it is music. The music is insane. Like that is what that is what keeps people in there. Is like if you were to put music to this show, I bet people. I mean, you can't because we're talking, but like it just like is addicting to always want to listen to music. That's my take of why it's another reason it's addicting.
Interesting. What do you watch on TikTok? Out of curiosity.
So I watch a lot of the sport like challenges where people are trying like this crazy shot, which are fun. And then I kind of get like the like hype house, like people that do the like dancing trends. I kind of watch.
The hype house?
I watch
where
whatever
all those
For You feed throws me.
Oh.
The hype house, yeah.
Also, wait.
You don't have to.
I've heard about the hype house. Is that where like a bunch of teenagers are living together kind of deal?
Yeah.
Sounds like a sorority house.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, and they make content, a content house. That's interesting. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that.
But
they're making
kind of already blown up, or it's interesting. But I'm watching them.
Who's your favorite TikToker? I don't know.
Good question. But... dude, this dude Kale Goes. If you go to his profile, just look up CALE, and then in the background he has like this pink thing. Dude, that kid's funny AF.
So funny content. Yeah, I can mess with it.
And fuck Joshy. It's FCK Joshy. He does like basically pranks on like college campuses, and they're very well done.
Is it the type of prank like, oh, can I kiss you kind of deal?
No, it's like him in like lecture halls, like taping or like just like grilling pancakes. Like he'll literally just have like a fryer in lecture halls just like making some pancakes.
God damn.
It's funny.
I'll check them out.
Yeah.
So, dude, with social media being here.
Stop texting
what?
me.
Who's texting you?
Zach's like, keep texting me. Like, get in.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. Okay. So as far as like social media goes, tell us why you started Sports Take, like, and what's your vision with it?
Yeah, good question. So I started Sports Take to solve my problem and what I thought my friends had of a problem for sports conversation. So basically, like we said, we grew up tweeting. I grew up on Twitter, and so I would always tweet about sports, which I loved, like the public conversation of it. But a ton of my Twitter following doesn't like sports. And then as the platforms went on, like me and you, we would text about them, which I like. I don't like texting about sports. I would rather just like talk about them publicly on Twitter. I think it's like more fun. You get more takes, you get more input. And so I was like using texting, tweeting, like I was using all these platforms to get like the same opinion I had about the same subject. And so I started Sports Take to like solve a problem of sports conversation and sports like entertainment. The goal of Sports Take is you check it so you don't have to check a million other apps for sports like you have to now, or to converse about them.
So were you kind of turned off by Twitter at that time then? Was it like, oh, I'm frustrated with Twitter, then I kind of want to take it?
Yeah, I was. I still am frustrated with Twitter. I just like talk about
love
it
it.
nicely.
It's like a love-hate.
No, I don't love. I love it out of the mainstream platforms because they're like it has its days where like big sports. Like that's the thing with Twitter is like when there's a big sporting event, then it's normal to tweet about sports. But like nobody wants to hear your thoughts on the NFL draft on like 3 days before the NFL draft on Twitter. That's just what I think.
So as far as starting, what were some of the, like, from a business perspective, what are some of the things you struggled with initially? Were you like,
oh, everything. Fuck this app, dude. Bro, I've been doing this app for fucking, I think it's been like 3.5 years.
Oh yeah, give us a timeline. Give us a timeline.
I started in the summer of 2017, going into my senior year of college, and it's 2020 right now. And I'm not extremely unprofitable, but I'm very unprofitable. But I'm getting better. So, yeah. Yeah.
So did you make this from scratch? Like, were you coding this yourself? kind of deal?
No, I got help. I know what I'm good at and what I'm not good at. In coding, I just accepted I'm not good at, even though maybe I could have figured it out. I just wanted to like build a team, I guess. So yeah, I've always been working with some help, and it's been crazy. It's fucking, yeah. It's been a long 3 years, but it's been fun, I guess.
I mean, you're doing it for 3.5. Was there ever a time you're like, fuck this app, I don't want to do it anymore?
Yeah, I shut it down when was it? It was 2019, literally right before the Super Bowl. Because it was like costing me a good amount of time and money, and I realized my financial situation was not capable of holding a project that was losing money. And so I just shut it down. And then once I figured out my finances, I brought it back. So yeah, there was like an 8-month
How are you losing money?
Which was interesting. Huh?
Were you losing money by all the gambling lines you do?
No, so paying for help, and then the database. And dude, I'm like annoying. Like I'll be losing like $20, and I'll be like, I'm gonna shut this thing down. Like that's like kind of how like my business mindset works. It's like if I'm not gonna figure it out, then like why waste money with it now? So no, I've never lost like that thousands. I've never had like really, really bad burn months where I'm like spending a lot of money, but I've spent a lot of money on like the brand. So I paid a lot for the domain. I paid a lot to get the trademark. So those are like big upfront costs. But what do you think of the name Sports Take?
I like the name. I mean,
I got the Insta, TikTok, Twitter, and domain. So that's chill, and trademark.
So do you do the marketing yourself though?
Yes. I do the take of the day on the social medias. And then, dude, yeah, like, I'm like, yeah, and then I get help with the development. But then I get help here and there. It kind of varies in and out, honestly.
You just play it by ear. So what was something you wish somebody had told you? Like, what was something like eye-opening to you during this process? Especially starting it, like maybe the legality of it, the trademark, all that kind of stuff. Or something like, oh, holy shit, I had no idea this was out.
Dude, how, by God. I didn't know. It's a good question. I just don't think I knew I didn't know how, like, apps don't make money. Like, the only apps that make money are, like, the biggest ones in the world. And so I, like, still don't have a revenue model. And so I'm, like, going to do, like, merchandise and, like, T-shirts. And hopefully, or I'll figure out a way to try to get those sold as, like, a revenue model. But, yeah, man, like, I started doing ads, and I would make, like, 2 cents a day. But I don't
2
have
cents?
that many. Yeah, I, like, don't have that many users. So it, like, makes sense. Like, there's no reason a free app should make you $1 a day in ad revenue. But, yeah, I just had no clue that the whole we're just going to run ads is a terrible business model.
Or just hard to obtain. Interesting. Did you ever think about monetizing?
Have, like, a ton of users, but it's just like advertisers need to make money, so that's why they spend cheap to advertise.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't profit off like someone trying to profit off you, kind of, if that makes sense. So that's
because they're doing it for the money. Yeah.
Yeah, because they need to see a return.
Ads do rule the world, though.
What do you mean?
I mean, like Google, Facebook, all their business models are.
You're so right. Like, if you can get it so that you're getting real ad revenue, it's a fucking money revenue model. Like, yeah, Facebook wins. I sell TikTok ads. Like, they do well. Or, like, yeah, it's a good revenue model if you have the users. But I don't have the users. I have like 20 daily active users.
Wait, did you ever think about maybe paying for the app? Or would that just turn off too many people away?
Because that's not
like in the app store
either. Because it's not like reoccurring revenue. Does that make sense? So if I like got 99, like I can, yeah, no. Basically, no. It crossed my mind for a second, but there was no point for me to charge people 99 cents if I just need to go try to make money off them again. Like, it's, yeah, no.
No, I see.
You know?
It would be almost scammy. Like if you're paying up front, then maybe more in charges in the app kind of deal.
Yeah, because if like I charge you for the app and I was like, hey, you want to buy like a dope sports take t-shirt? Then you're like, no, dude, I paid for the app. And I'd be like, well, glad I have 99 cents. So, yeah, that's kind of the sitch right now.
So during this thing, like another thing I've been thinking about, did it ever not become about would you get so focused on like trying to make this grow that you just like stop giving a shit about sports or what the app meant or like the vision of it? Did you ever lose that?
No, dude, I never lost like the brand of sports take. Like I was never going to change the name. But I knew quickly, I was like, we need to post about things on here that are not sports related because ain't no one trying to talk about the NBA regular season, no matter how much you think people like the NBA regular season. So that's kind of been like a fun thing I've had to deal with is people are like, why are people talking about like their favorite restaurants? And it's like, because you don't want to talk about any other sports right now. If that makes sense.
Oh, I see. So then once you shift that a little bit, how does it make it a lot different than Twitter per se? If you're bringing in other topics too,
good question. It's a sports community compared to Twitter, which is the entire fucking world. And so when you post like an opinion about, like Hot Rod was a terrible movie, it's fun to talk about that on Sports Take because it's like a sports bar conversation with people that like the same sports. It's like The Boys. Sports Take is like
the boys.
With the boys and the girls who like sports. But like you're not trying to have a heated debate with the boys or the girls that like sports on Twitter.
So it's just because they're similar minded and they're kind of competitive in that sense, they could have more takes for the certain topics per se. It's more the community than the actual topic of discussion.
Yeah, like it's super centralized. It's like if you refresh the app, all you're gonna see is just takes and opinions and news and scores and everything revolved around sports. Except when you go to Twitter, you're gonna see repeated content. You're gonna see viral tweets that are they shouldn't be viral.
Oh, the worst. The worst.
You're literally gonna see porn. Like porn will just show up on your Twitter timeline. And so, yeah, like when Sports Take is popping, man, it's so fun. It's just hard to consistently make it popping.
True, especially with like I guess less users. But dude, if I see another tweet on Twitter regarding take me to the beach instead of the finals and get 100K retweets, I'm gonna lose my mind.
Dude, exactly.
That's the reason I got off the app initially. I was like, I don't like this anymore.
Yeah, and so that was exactly what I saw with Twitter too, and that's why I'll always stand by the problem Sports Take solves. I just got to figure out a revenue model one day.
Dude, here's an interesting question. Whenever somebody starts like an entrepreneurship venture or an idea, they have like this notion of like, there's like, oh, don't listen to your haters. The people are wrong, but then like also take criticism. So how do you balance that? If someone comes at you like they're heated, there might be like a hater, but then how do you actually take criticism from that? Constructive criticism. How do you differentiate between the two?
Yeah, I think, okay, well, so I've seen it as like, so a hater, dude, a big hate I've gotten. So have you checked Sports Take lately? You used to, like, what's your activeness on there?
Not much, to be honest. I'm like trying to limit all my social media, to be honest. I'm still
When's the last time you checked?
Besides, like a month ago.
Damn it. All right. So yeah, like on there, like you can't post photos. So a big thing users would tell me is like, hey, I need to be able to add photos. And then I would always get these ideas of like things I need to add. And so I would add them. And then we would have no content the next day. And so people were just like telling me stuff. They were like giving me obvious feedback. And I was like, nah, man, like I need you to post content. It's like, how do I get you to post content and like post takes? So I don't really see it as haters for them to tell me to add photos. I just know if I add photos, they're not going to post photos that often.
Oh, I see. Just like kind of whim with the idea where it's something like they don't have it here. They just want an option, even though they won't.
Exactly. Like it solves the problem for them to like
Bitch about it.
They maybe had that urge once, but it's not going to change like their activeness.
Easier to just bitch about it kind of deal.
Yeah, like I'll ask for feedback so they give me the obvious stuff, and then that's when I try to dig. And then, dude, this is when it's just like, I'm not saying this as a complaining, but like I had no idea how much work this was, and like these are kind of some of those things. So I'll like talk to people like, yeah, like what do you think? They're like, add photos, and I'll be like, yeah, but like, how do I get you to kind of be active, or you know, what would make you like engage and da da da. So that's kind of like the puzzle with it.
That's interesting. And then as far as, has somebody come up to you and be like, no, this is just a fucking shitty idea? Has anyone been that blunt or straightforward?
That's like, that like doesn't affect me. And I kind of wish people did, because they would like put a chip on my shoulder even more, like, or not even more. I can't say I have like that big of a chip. But yeah, I kind of wish people did, but no, people have been supportive of the idea, but nobody will tell you you have an ugly baby. So that is why you need to be super, what is it? This is like the classic Gary Vee, like self-awareness. Like you need to know how good your idea is. And I can tell you every flaw Sports Take has, and I can tell you like every positive it has. And so I'm very like honest with myself. I like to think of what Sports Take is. So yeah.
Interesting.
Classic.
So you know its weaknesses.
Sorry, go
so ahead. I mean, I also follow Gary Vee quite a bit. So do you just like hammer down on the strengths and like disregard the weaknesses with the app, or what do you do?
Like when I'm pitching people?
Yeah.
Or what?
In terms of the app, it's strengths. Like, because Gary Vee is always like double down on your strengths kind of deal, right? Don't worry about the weaknesses as much.
Oh, with you know, moving it forward or trying to move it forward?
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say, yeah, we're getting into thing more. I mean, that's what you think. You need to give like people what they want. And if you can't give them photos, then like what else do they want? And so we're going to start doing a ton of competitions. Like we did the chess tourney, we're doing an NBA 2K tourney. I want to have like a competition for every playoff. So like an NFL playoff pick'em. And I want to be like the well-known brand for like that. Like Sports Take puts on a good NFL playoff pick'em. Sports Take puts on a good NBA playoff pick'em. And that is like a new thing I'm trying to get at with the app.
Is that kind of like your niche you're focusing on?
That's definitely one of them.
All right, dude, we're approaching the end of the convo, but you mentioned Gary Vee here, and I want to get your like thoughts on him. Give me your honest thoughts on Gary Vee.
Dude, I think he's a legend.
Big fan?
I think he's a legend. Like if he buys the Jets, it'll be the most all-time move I've ever seen in my life. Like you don't tell people you're going to buy the Jets at 22 and then do it. Like and talk shit online the entire time doing it. Like if he does it, dude, not only one, that'll be great content to like watch him then manage the Jets. But
and change the organization, hopefully.
Exactly. And like actually try to see him like take him to a Super Bowl. But it'll just be like an all-time move to be like, yeah, this dude like called his shot. I like that. There's a couple takes I disagree with him on now. I think his college one's kind of dumb. He just like hates on college, and
I agree. He's always like college sucks, and like you might, but like it works for some professions, but I don't think it can work. You need a certain type of personality to not go to college.
Yeah, that's so true. It's so true.
Dude, one thing, I really like him too. I follow him quite a bit. Like I like him. I like his ideology and like self-awareness stuff. And he's just, first of all, I like the fact that he cusses. That makes me more attractive to listen to than someone like a little bit more toned down, giving a motivational speech. Gary Vee is like, he's in your face, kind of brutal kind of deal. I like that. I like his
Dude, it's
upfront
so
bluntness.
And like, there ain't anyone talking about like the real stuff. Like, if you dig deep into his podcast, there are a few people talking about how life really is, and he like talks about that stuff, and it's wild, man. It's just he's just seen it all. I think he knows so much. And yeah, like I respect, and he just works insanely hard. Like, I mean, he says he does, but like it sounds like he's literally just like, he just has worked his whole life, which is mad respect.
At times, I almost feel like maybe if one time I took his message the wrong way, where I thought he tried to make everything like a productivity contest, which kind of stresses you out. If you feel like you're just not doing anything productive every single day, every single minute, like he says make the most of it, right? You feel like shit. And that's what I kind of got in the mindset of, but then
dude,
that's what I started thinking about.
Yeah, and I don't know what you think, but I think he's the one who created like fake entrepreneurship in America. Of like, he made it cool to be an entrepreneur. And dude, when we were in high school, remember the high school entrepreneurship class we did?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that Mr. Caruso put on. Dude, entrepreneurship was not cool then, and it's like, I don't know if people think it's cool now. I think it is cooler now because there's so many entrepreneurs that have like massive followings on social. But yeah, it just was never. I don't know. I think he made it like a cool thing. So now there's like the entrepreneur in the Insta bio. Goodness, what do you think of that?
Which is obnoxious. No, I don't. 99% of the time he's not a fucking entrepreneur. I'll put my 401k on that. Like whatever he makes, probably
big 401k guy, eh?
Some shitty content. But it's like,
yeah.
I'm not gonna bash on that. You know, it's like if you follow Gary Vee and like you're trying to make content, like this, I'm doing the same thing. Like if someone dicks on this, like it'll be the same thing as me bashing on someone like that. But I just won't put entrepreneur on my thing or anything like that.
Exactly, man. And like, I'll post a tweet one day. It's like, you should, if you have CEO, founder of blank in your LinkedIn headline, you better be so rich. Like, like you just better have so much money. I'm like, this guy's the man. But like, dude, there's entrepreneurs like put an entrepreneur in their bio, and like people who get like an entry level job make more money than them. It's like, I'm not saying like that's money. Bad, but it's like they just put on this facade that they're like so much better than the guy working the 9 to 5, and I'm like, yeah, I don't get that one.
It's like using social media and its highlights to promote how creative you are when you're probably not that creative. It's like the really
using social media to brand.
Well, yeah, that's what everyone does though. Like initially, like if you're really fucking happy, I guarantee you're not posting how happy you fucking are every single day on anything. Or just my favorite on Twitter, people like, oh, I don't give a fuck or I don't give a shit. I was like, you honestly give a shit enough to post this to tell people that you don't give a shit. If you really didn't, every time I've said that, I do give a shit. Honestly, it's just hard for me to admit. Like I'm insecure about it.
Dude, I'm right there with you. I went on my Twitter from beginning of January to 3 weeks ago. So many regrets, bro. So many regrets. Like, I just tried. Well, no. Part of it was like, I honestly like had some thoughts I wanted to get out there. And then part of it was like, if I'm just like a psycho, like maybe it'll help sports takes. So that was another side of it. But yeah, that was terrible. I hated that time.
I mean, we all go through them. So that's where I think one thing about Gary Vee is I just wish he'd stop interrupting people so much. That's one thing I noticed about him.
No, dude, because if you think about it, you're listening to his podcast to listen to him. You're not listening for you to give your take. And dude, you'll listen to these this makes me so mad. All these like average Joes like come on there and then they like try to like talk over him. It's like, bro, he's like, listen to it. You're a clown.
I don't listen to his podcast that much. No, that's a fair point though, but I'm saying like it'll be like an interview on TV or like a short clip, like someone telling or explaining their story, and he'll just be like, let me stop you right there. Like, let her finish. Let her. That's all I want. Just let her finish. He knows what he's gonna say, but like, I just think he assumes a little too much. But he has to. He's kind of like an alpha
No,
male.
dude, there
Small.
isn't gonna be a bigger hater in his mentions if he doesn't buy that Jets. I'll be right there, like, nice job, bro.
I'm a fan, though. I'm a fan. You listen to his podcast every day?
No,
Do you listen
I'll
to
just
TV
like
Get time too?
no. When I like did DoorDash, I would like listen to his podcast then.
Yeah.
And like whenever I like, yeah. But dude, you have to like try to listen to his podcast because like you really do learn a lot. And so it like kind of takes some effort to like, I'm gonna listen. You know, it's like, dude, I genuinely believe everyone in like 5th grade should lock themselves in a room and listen to like 100 hours of Gary Vee content. And you'll just like understand. I just genuinely think you'll be like happier, weirdly. I don't know. I just think he has like a lot of good tidbits for whether you're an entrepreneur or not.
100%. Like, if you might as well see like shit on social media, get Gary Vee shit, dude. Follow him. Like, all that content, like, it just goes through your head and like it does train your mind to think differently in the good
he's
way.
like, not only is he's I genuinely, so I think I have this take on Twitter. There's 3 things in life. There's 3 things in life people can chase. It's money, fame, and then helping people. And Gary Vee has fucking all 3 of those, which like everyone has all 3 of those to an extent if you put it in like, if you dumb it down. But he has them all to like the max extent, which I think is crazy. And I think people should listen to that because not only is he the biggest entrepreneur on social media, he may be like in the 0.01% buying the Jets, probably like the most expensive sports franchise. And he's like helping. What do you mean?
It's not more expensive than the Cowboys
but
or Lakers.
It's like a top, I don't know, 25 sports franchise. Like, and I think their worth is like only going to go up. Dude, I'm so excited to see if he does it. I'm so excited.
That would be pretty crazy. But that's interesting. You mentioned the 3 things. Like, final little thing here before.
Dude, I could do this all night.
As far as pick one, fame or money?
Dude, so I had this take on Twitter. And so like my money's managed. Dude, I would pick fame because I think fame is harder. Like, I think fame is like harder to get. Does that make sense?
Yeah, fame is harder to get and deal with, I think.
Yeah. Like, I think you learn a lot more than fame. Like, everyone has money to an extent, you know? Like, everyone, if you have a job.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Like, but everyone like deals with money the same, you know? Not everyone has fame.
I think most people have the illusion of money with their credit cards all freaking maxed out, but I think financial literacy wise,
100%.
That's what I'm saying. I think people don't.
No, but you're still like, even the people that are doing their big credit card deals, they're still, you know, they could still have like a job that pays them every week. And so that's still like some sort of money to manage, you know?
Oh, I see. You're saying at least even if their financial situation is bad, they still like see money or deal with
exactly.
Money.
Like they're still being an idiot. And so like money, anyone, I don't know, but like I think fame is like, I think people who are like have seen levels of fame, I think have like a super different perspective on life. Or I just think they're more interesting too. I don't know.
Dude, I listened to a couple of podcasts, like comedian podcasts. This one comedian was like, I don't remember who it was. It was blank, but he said most people try to become famous because they want the money, but if they could just have the money, they wouldn't want to be famous. Which I thought was interesting.
And that's why I would pick fame over money. Because if you can get famous, you probably can figure out money pretty quickly. Because if you can deal with haters and like not only haters but like a big fan base too, I would guess like you can like manage your, you can like figure out money too. I don't know.
It's harder to get fame.
People get famous to keep up. What's up?
No, so it's because it's harder to get famous. That's interesting though.
I think so. Like I said this on Twitter. Like if you were to tell your kid, say you have a future kid, and be like, "Hey kid, like I want you to get really rich. I want you to get like super wealthy. Like it's just not that hard. Like go on Wall Street, go like just work a lot, and you'll get wealthy. You know." But if you tell your kid, like, "Hey man, you better get famous," it's like that's so hard. Like, what is he gonna do? Is he gonna be like a really like impressive athlete? Is he gonna
TikTok baby?
Yeah, is he gonna be like a huge TikTok influencer? I just think like fame brings so much hardships that like money doesn't. Money's like not that hard. Money's not that. Yeah.
Yeah. Here's a question. So then, how do you explain people that get famous off stupid things like Bad Bobby? You remember that chick who got famous off Dr. Phil? It's like, I don't give a shit about my hoes.
Well, no, that's the crazy thing with fame too. Is like fame is so hard to sustain. I think money can be a little hard to sustain. Not really. Sometimes. I think fame is so hard to sustain. Like, I can name
because you have to keep coming out with content and like keep reinventing yourself.
You need to be relevant. Like your brand needs to be relevant to last over years. And there ain't like no. Who are the top 3 most famous people you think you've grown up, like you've seen in your life?
Top 3 famous people, including everyone, right? Probably Justin Bieber.
Yeah, for sure.
Bieber. Maybe those Vine people, Logan or Lele Pons. Even though I'm not a big fan of
the big Vine community.
Okay. Yeah, Lele Pons are like athletes, like Roger or Rafa. Growing up.
All right, that's yours. No, that's good. Yeah, man. Like think of LeBron. Like LeBron, everyone's gonna tune in every playoffs until he retires. Once he retires, he's gonna stay famous because he's LeBron. And does he want to stay famous is like another story, which I like don't blame. If like he's just like screw this, I'd be like.
But I think someone who did a great job of doing this is Shaq. Always reinventing himself, getting himself in the right things, and he's just as relevant as he was a player, which is so impressive to me.
I like that. Yeah, I think Shaq's done a good job. I think Bieber's kind of. I mean, Bieber's 15 though, so like, dude, the one you need to follow is Charlie D'Amelio on TikTok.
Is that the TikTok star?
Dude, so she's
the main TikTok chick.
What?
She's the main TikTok chick, right?
She came from TikTok, yeah.
She was on the Super Bowl commercial too. I think.
Dude, she went from 0 to 50 million followers on TikTok in a year.
That's insane.
And she's 15.
She's 15?
Yeah.
Damn.
It's insane, dude. And so I think like someone like her, like I just love watching fame. Like I love how people deal with fame. I think is so interesting. Money, I don't know. Yeah.
That's fascinating. All right, my man. Well, I appreciate you coming on to the show with Musty, bringing your takes. Old time buddy. Drew, is there anything you want to plug?
Yeah.
Before we sign off for tonight?
Follow me on Insta. Follow Sports Take on Insta. Follow me on Twitter. Buy TikTok ads. But yeah, man, thanks for having me on. Give me your top 3 guests so far. Nobody's gonna listen to this part, so it doesn't matter.
Well, I've only had 5 episodes, but my most popular one was the first.
Your first.
The comedian, he came on. He's pretty cool. And
but
then the one with
Gears was first time.
Probably, but also
no. I was watching a little bit of that, and he has a big following, which is cool. But dude, that's another thing of like this show. Like to sustain this show is in a sense fame. Like that's hard. And so like
True.
you're always going to get your most users at the beginning, but to sustain that is just straight up work, I think.
True. Honestly, coming with content, that's something I realized like very quickly. I wanted it to be Monday and Thursday, like 30-minute episodes. I was like, oh shit, like I'm gonna run out of guests real quick. So that's why I scaled it back a little bit, especially with like when work kicks back up and everything.
What have you thought of doing it?
I've been thinking about this for such a long time, to be honest, and then like finally Gearja and a couple other people like pushed me. They're like, you got all these ideas, but you're not doing jack shit. And I was like, wow, yeah, that's real.
Did it motivate
real
you
talk.
that you came on Chess with Drew Fisno and beat me?
Oh yeah, I mean, chess is the name of the game, dude. Coming and taking everyone's money, even though Addy won more money than me, literally right after.
Dude, you gotta. But that's a money conversation. That's like, to get money, you gotta take big bets.
For sure, but no. For this though, I've been thinking about this for like.
Monis, you're so on. I'm texting you after this, but go ahead.
But I've been thinking about this for like 7-8 months now, and I just thought like I would have like a mic and then like a video set up and put it up on YouTube, kind of like Joe Rogan deal. But I was just trying to perfect it too much. I was like, I just gotta start this shit, man. So that's why I like pulled the trigger now, and there's no excuses now, especially during quarantine. But I'm excited to see where this goes.
Good for you. You down to come? You down to play me in chess again?
Of course.
Let's go.
As long as I can put money on myself. As long as I can put money on myself, I'm down.
To everyone listening, that is what I loved about Satvik as a friend in high school. Ain't nobody out here trying to compete like my boy Satvik. When some of my other not clown friends, but just like people just like, there's like, I love people who are trying to do stuff. Satvik's trying to do stuff. So I like that. Good for you.
Appreciate that, bro. Appreciate it.
No problem. You gonna defend the throne in Sports Take Chess Tourney next year?
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Rip some takes one day? Get you back?
Yes, sir.
Good to hear, man. Well, yeah, thanks for having me.
All right, thanks so much, Drew.
We may do it again. Who knows?
Let's do it. I would hope so.
I just invited myself back on. Let's go. All
right.
Peace out.
All right. Thank you all for tuning in. Drew for coming on as a guest. He was fire. We had a long conversation today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm also going to put this up on YouTube now because I don't care how the video looks, and it's another platform besides Instagram and Spotify, Apple Podcasts like the usual. Thank you all. Have a good night. See you next Monday.